Hi, my name is Roger and I'm here at Apple Tree Auction Center to show you some guitars that are coming up at the Antique Auction August 15 to 18. We have several great brands and high-end guitars. We also have some great starter guitars and we have mostly electric, but we do have one acoustic and one bass, and we'll be showing them all to you today. The acoustic, you'll hear both acoustic and through this amplifier. To keep the comparison the same, we're going to use this, which is a Friedman Little Sister 20-watt combo amp. So I'm going to get started with this. Here we have a Schecter. It is a Diamond Series. The model is C6 Elite, and I'll show you a few things about it before I play it. It's an electric guitar, obviously. It has a bridge pickup, which is also called the lead pickup. It has the rhythm pickup here, and it has a 3-position toggle switch. When the position is down, this pickup is active and this one isn't. When the pickup switch is up, this one is active and the other one isn't. When it's in the middle, they're both on. So we're going to start with what I would call some clean sounds. And here you can hear the guitar. This is the volume knob, this is the tone knob. So if I have the volume a little bit back, if you wanted it to be even cleaner, just dial off the volume a little bit and you can. As you increase the volume, you can hear with these pickups, it gets a little more growly. If I want an even cleaner sound, I might go all the way to the rhythm pickup and try this. We're going to change the settings on the amplifier by increasing the gain so you can hear what this sounds like when it's played with a little bit heavier rock style. Is pretty low, so for lead playing, I find it to be pretty comfortable. Hello again, back at Apple Tree. This time up we have an Ibanez guitar, and I'm going to let you know the model number and the serial number first. The model number is Ibanez A is in Alpha, S is in Sam, 73, F is in Fun, M is in Music, Dash, G is in Go, V is in Victor, G, and there's a space, 5B-01. It's a long model number, shorter serial number, PW19021536. What we have here is a semi-hollow Ibanez guitar, hollow body, and it's got a beautiful finish with lime green, a little bit darker green, kind of a fade, and a little bit flame. And so what we're set to right now is a rock and roll, a little bit heavier setting, but like the previous guitar, this has 2 pickups, lead pickup and a rhythm pickup. Pickup switch works the same. Right now the lead pickup is on. Controls for the lead pickup are down here. That's the volume, just so you can hear the tone works. That makes it a little more bassy. This gives you a little more treble. So this guitar is surprisingly good at sounding like a rock and roll guitar in terms of a little bit heavy sound. So let's play a little bit of this. So if you play like that, but you need to clean it up, very much can do that. If we flip it over to the rhythm pickup, its volume's a little higher, but we'll equalize those. Get a slightly different heavier. So if we pull that back, one other thing that's useful to see, that's the rhythm pickup all the way. That's the lead pickup with the volumes about the same. If you have them both, you don't change the volume. You don't get twice as much volume. What you get is a blend of the tones. So now let's change the amp setting to cleaner and hear what it sounds like that way. So now with the amp cleaned up, I can increase the volumes. And in the lead position, guitar is if we disconnect it from the amplifier, because of the F-holes and the semi-hollow nature, you can play it like an acoustic. It's not as loud as an acoustic. Here we're bringing you a Gibson Les Paul. It's a made in USA model. I'm looking at the back of the headstock. It says it is 2018. I'm going to read that serial number to you right now. It is 180056791. This has a beautiful sea blue or whale blue sort of ocean finish, and we're going to start with this guitar in a clean setting. Like the others we've seen, it's got a lead pickup and a bridge pickup and a 3-position toggle switch. In this case, the up position has the rhythm pickup engaged. So the controls for the rhythm pickup are right here. This is the volume. So that would turn it down. And this is the tone, and that makes it more bassy. This makes it more trebly. So just to let you hear it. Silence the guitar while we make some switches with the amp. The first one I'll make is to go to the lead pickup. Give the amp some gain. And now with the volume, we should hear a little bit more aggressive sound. It might be too loud for here. Let's try this. Which you can hear, and then lastly you can play it, as many guitar players do, in the rhythm position, distorted. And like many guitars, even when it's distorted, if you dial it back on the volume knob, you can get a clean sound. Is ready to go like this. So I can have one setting on one pickup that sounds like this, and then flip to the other and be clean. So that's it for our Gibson Les Paul. Here we are now with a Fender Duo-Sonic Stratocaster-like guitar. This guitar, as you can see, is a really pretty lime green. Before we get started playing, looking at the features, I will give you the serial number. It is M is in Mayday, X is in xylophone, 179240001. And this is a made in Mexico Fender. So what we'll start with is the configuration. You have two-coil pickup or a classic humbucker in the lead position, and you have a single-coil pickup here in the rhythm position. Again, we have the three-position pickup selector switch, volume knob, and tone knob. So we're going to start with a clean sound with the single-coil pickup in the rhythm position, and we're going to do that by just bringing the volume on and letting you hear what this pickup sounds like on this guitar. Sound coming out of the single coil pickup, and a lot of sustain out of the guitar because I haven't backed off the volume yet. What I'm going to do now is move the pickup selector into the bridge position for the lead pickup, and you're going to hear how the tone changes. This pickup has a little bit higher output. We could, of course, blend them, and you get a combination of the more nasally tone here and the beefier tone that comes out of that pickup in the bridge. So it really depends on what you're looking for. At the same time, you can sculpt your tone with the tone knob. So you can go really basic. Controls, I will say, on this are really solid. They don't feel cheap. They have a very good hand feel and texture. So what we're going to do next is go into the lead position, and we're going to set the amp into a more rock and roll tone and let you hear what that sounds like. Just bar chords and rock and roll sound. Here's a little bit of lead sound from it. And those were harmonics, if you could notice, and it comes out really clearly with this pickup. Overall, this guitar is really responsive and capable of a lot of great tones across a range of styles. This guitar is a Squier Mustang made by the Fender company. It is crafted in Indonesia, and I will give you the serial number. It is I as in Ice, C as in Charlie, S as in Sam, L as in Lucy, 2000-1650. So we're going to start with this guitar in the clean position, same as we've seen before. Two pickups, both of these are humbuckers, and this is a three-position switch. Forward is the rhythm, backward is the lead pickup, and the middle is, of course, a combination of both. Volume in front, tone behind. So, if you start with a chord, you can see how the volume works. As you dial back, you get quieter. You can see the tone. Tone knob, notice no crackle, it's in good shape. So we'll just let you hear this play for a minute. play this part of the same thing again, this time with the lead pickup, and you'll hear the difference in tone. It'll still be full, but it'll have a little more trebly sound to it. And that's the two pickups together, a combination of the sounds. Okay. Next, we'll change the settings on the amp for a little bit heavier tone. And we'll keep this on the lead pickup. Mustang, designed by Fender. And this guitar is a Gibson Nighthawk. We think it's probably a model ST or ST3, and that's based on the serial number. Based on the serial number, we believe it's 1993, which may be the first year of production. The number is 93143480. If it is the first year of production, it would be the 480th made on the 314th day of 1993. The guitar's condition overall for a 30-year-old guitar is excellent, near mint. It's clearly been played, but been really meticulously taken care of and loved. We don't have any big scratches or gouges. Right here, careful inspection of the headstock says that there may have been a repair to a tiny ding. If that's a repair, it's really well done. We've taken a picture so you can see it. It just is another sign that the guitar's been taken care of. We don't have any major nicks or dings that are visible. And we have frets that are in great condition. So we will let you listen to it and see what you think. The guitar right now is in clean position with the rhythm pickup right here. To show you some more things. This is a 5-position pickup selector switch. So in this position, we have a humbucker engaged in the bridge slot. In the lead slot would be over here in position 1, and that will give us the lead pickup with a brighter and a little bit more high output sound. And we have 3 spots left in between. So you have 1, 2, if I go to the third, that's these 2 pickups together, both as humbuckers. So it's a combination of the bassy sound of the rhythm and the brighter sound here. The second position is this humbucker pickup, what's called tapped or turned into a single coil, and so it will sound a little bit brighter but thinner, as opposed to this. Sort of subtle, but it definitely is there. And again, the rhythm pickup is a humbucker. In this position, tapped. So that's a little bit of it cleaned up. We'll go ahead and go to a rock and roll tone. Let you hear a bit of that. We're in the lead position. that's a little bit of how this guitar sounds across a wide variation of tones. If you're a lead player or you want to become one, the action is pretty close. So it'll give you that opportunity as well. So that is our Gibson Nighthawk. Here we have an Alvarez electric acoustic guitar. So as an electric acoustic, that means you can play it either way. You can play it without amplification as a traditional acoustic, or you can also plug it in. So if you plug it in, that plug goes right here through the strap lock. You can wear a strap, although I'm sitting down with it, and then you would control it from here, the control center. This pops out to allow you to replace a 9-volt battery that powers it, and the battery comes on automatically when you plug a cable in, turns off automatically so you don't drain it when you pull the cable out. You have a 3-position EQ, so you have low, mid, and high. You have a phase switch, which I'll demonstrate in a little bit. You have a master volume. You also have the ability to tune your guitar. And so with this, you get a built-in EQ, a few things that I'll show you, and a guitar tuner. I won't demonstrate the tuner. We've tested it already, and when we tested it, it did work, but right now this guitar is in tune. So let me tell you about the model. I said it's an Alvarez. The model number is an A as in Alex, D as in Dawn, 60, C as in Charlie, K as in Kevin. AD60CK. The serial number is 129376. The guitar is in, it's been well kept, it's in good shape. You can see what you see on any guitar that's been played, which is in the right light on the pick guard. I can see very gentle, superficial surface marks. What we don't have are dings and mars and big problems with the finish. So this is overall a very good looking guitar, and the finish is on the back too, so it's all the way around. So let's hear what it sounds like. We're going to start with the volume on the electric part turned off. So all you're going to get here would be the acoustic guitar coming at you. So you can play that, you can play something a little softer. Sound, it projects well. But when you want more sound, if you have an amplifier, as we do here, you can take the master volume and start to turn it up, and you get the natural sound of the acoustic coupled with the amplifier. Demonstrate the phase button on the guitar. So when I hit that, I'll strum this chord again. So notice the difference. You got an out of phase signal going to the amplifier, and then it compares to this. So it gives you a slight modulation in the sound. Now, that comes through when you're playing finger picking, for example. Treble, turn it up. It's brighter, we want less treble, not as bright. Same thing across. There's the mid-range, make it a little scooped or hollow sounding. And then the bass right now is all the way up, but if we didn't want that much bass, and then we might compensate with a little volume. Back to close to the settings we have. This is a nice guitar for a lot of styles of music that you would play on an acoustic. Is fairly low, so if you are looking to play in this range, that's available to you. And one of the reasons it is, as opposed to a jumbo acoustic, which would come across here, this is a cutaway, and it's cutaway to make room for your hand so you can reach the 15th fret, the 17th fret, the 19th fret. So that is it for our Alvarez acoustic. We have up a Sound Gear by Ibanez 4-string electric bass. The model is SR250 IP-02. This guitar has active pickups. On the back of it is where you would insert the 9-volt battery. And typically on these, those pickups will remain active as long as the guitar has a cable plugged into it. So when we do this, the pickups are no longer draining the battery. So I am going to play just a little bit so you can hear this at the same time before I do. Here we have a Hartke HD50 bass guitar amplifier. It has 50-watt speaker with one 12-inch bass speaker. It's got a volume control and then bass, mid, and treble for the EQ. You can also attach earphones to this, and there's an auxiliary output if you want to send the sound elsewhere to a recording device or to a PA system. So we'll just play for a moment. So this is a demo of both the amp and the guitar. They will be auctioned separately. Crank up the bass, you can hear obviously it gets a lot deeper. If we back that off, you can hear the mids. It's a little bit more in the middle. And the treble. So next up, we have a vintage Gibson made in the USA SG. The serial number for this guitar is 180520. For those of you who know, Gibson has not used 6-digit serial numbers for a long time. They went to 8 and then 9. So this guitar is likely from the 70s, but the best way to date it would be to call Gibson. The guitar plays really well. This was the type of guitar that Angus Young from AC/DC used, so we'll play one of his songs. That's just a little bit of how it sounds in a dirty mode. Action's really close, so it's good for lead playing. I like that tone, the way you can feel the strings bend and hear it in the noise. If I back off on the volume, right now I have bridge pickup engaged, so that's your lead pickup. I can clean the tone up pretty quickly. So even though the amp is set for distortion, pulling the volume back cleans the guitar pretty nicely. Here's the rhythm pickup, full volume. You can hear it's a little bassier, which is good for these sorts of things. And backs the volume off. If we set the amp for a little bit cleaner sound, you get something like this. So I'll just play some simple things. Scratches, it's definitely seen some use, but it plays wonderfully and it sounds great. Good luck, Ben. This time we have a Gibson SG Special. In my hand here is the paperwork from Gibson. This guitar was manufactured November 15, 2018. It's got the serial number on here. It matches the back. I checked. That number for your record is 1-800-401-75. This is a made in the USA Gibson SG, just a few years old. Traditional configuration, 3-position pickup selector switch where the bottom is the bridge, the top is the rhythm, the middle is both, and you have volume and tone for the bridge pickup, also called the lead pickup, and volume and tone for the rhythm. Let's start us out in a clean sound in the rhythm position. So. Sound. And of course you can control the brightness with the tone knob. We can come all the way to fully bright. And then there's both pickups together. So you've got a wide variation of clean sounds that you can achieve with this. I'm going to turn the amp to a more rock and roll setting and let you hear a little bit of that. Maybe not that much. I can still get a nice clean sound. So overall, this guitar's got a great harmonic response. It plays really well, the action is low, and it looks to me like it's very close to mint condition. You can see the tiny scratches that you will get from picks on the pick guard. That's why there's a pick guard there. But the body itself, front and back, is virtually free of any blemish. There may, no, not even there. There's really nothing that I can see with the naked eye that suggests anything. This color is called Satin Cherry. So the satin finish allows you to feel the wood grain. That's it for this Gibson SG Special 2018, made in the USA. Next up is another Gibson SG. This SG is one that I tried to date by calling Gibson. I will read the serial number to you in a moment. The person I spoke to at Gibson said that these serial numbers are not 100% the way you can always date one of these guitars. Sometimes you need to take the back panel off and look at things like the potentiometer and find out when those parts were made to date them perfectly. His guess was 1986. So here we have what he believes to be, based on my description of it, it says SG right here on the headstock, either an SG Special or a VSG. So here's the serial number. If you want to do a little research on this, you could call Gibson yourself. I said it was made in the USA, I believe. Let me get the right angle for the number. It is 81606528. 81606528. So with that, we'll listen to it, see what we think. We'll start with the amp in a clean setting so you can hear. Let's turn the amp up just a little more. There we go. So here we have three position pickup selector switch, bridge, rhythm, both, and then what you have here is a master volume. Oh, I'm wrong. There we go. This is we have two volumes and a master tone. So this is bridge pickup, and that's its volume knob. If I go to the rhythm, that's its volume, and back here is that master tone that I mentioned. So we'll start with this in the rhythm position, play a little bit of what was played on the last guitar. It's a little bit brighter. But if you listen, that sound really cuts through for a lead tone if you're using it for that purpose. So let's go ahead and hear that kind of tone out of the amplifier. So there's a look and a little listen to this Gibson SG from around 1986, made in the USA. Okay, next up we have a Fender Stratocaster made in the USA. Serial numbers underneath this tag, so if you want to look that up, you can. It's in the description. So a few things about this guitar. It's American made, Fender Strat, as I just said. It looks like it's got aftermarket knobs right here, which is no big deal. We've got 3 single coil pickups, so you can get a sense. I've got the amp set to a clean sound, get a sense of how those sound. This is a 5-position switch, and what it's going to do is in position 1, you get this one. Position 3, you get the middle one only. In position 5, you get the bridge only. Position 2 is going to give you these 2, and position 4 is going to give you these 2. So I'm just going to cycle through those so you can hear the difference in the sound. So here's the bridge pickup. Bridge plus middle. Middle. Middle and neck. And finally the neck or rhythm pickup only. So if we stay there, change that sound pretty quickly just by switching pickups, but you can also play with the sound here with your tone knobs. Okay, the last thing to show you in terms of, or let you hear, in terms of sound, would be the distorted sound. So I'm going to go for the lead pickup. To my ears, that sounds a little bit like a Nirvana sound. So that's the last of the sound for right now. It looks like this guitar's had some factory relicking. here and here. On the back, I'm not sure this is factory because I can feel the paint, so that might actually be real relicking. There's a little nick here, there's a scratch here. So the guitar has definitely been used, but you can hear that it sounds fine. You're not getting noise out of the pickup selecting switch or the knobs for the most part. So I think the electronics are in really good shape. Solid connection here for the guitar cable in. And just be aware that you have, even on the top of the guitar, I see a little nick here, little nick there, and we were examining some discoloration up here. So cosmetically, this is not a perfect guitar. However, as a player, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying this, and I think it feels really good in the hand. If you look along the neck, there's no binding, but it looks like there's some glue that has, over time, perhaps seeped out. And I can see that on both sides. We'll make sure we have a picture where you can see it's just a little bit dark right there. But again, it plays fine. Thanks for looking. Okay, everyone, next up we have a Fender Lead 3 6-string electric guitar. This guitar was made in Mexico. I don't have a date on it. If you're curious about that, you can look up the serial number, which is in the description. So this guitar is a little bit different in design in that you've got pickup selector switches, 2 of them, instead of 1. So what I'm going to do is just let you hear what these things do. You get traditional volume and tone. First I'll demonstrate the tone is crackle free. So that's sort of like an onboard wah if you want to rotate it like that. And then go through the pickups. Tone. We'll go ahead and flip the amp for some distortion. I'll let you hear that. If you listen carefully, you can hear the hum. That's because we've just tapped one of the pickups. It's gone from humbucker to single coil. That's classic. That's why the humbucker is called the humbucker. So you've got a lot of options in terms of what you're able to do with these switches with one of these positions. Sounds like that one is the coil tapper. And that's, there we go. Fun to play, have to admit. I think this is a great guitar. It is blemish free. It's got kind of a metallic shine in the metallic flakes in the paint, and I don't see a ding on it or a scratch on it anywhere, other than maybe just a few barely tiny pick scratches, which is entirely common. There's no fret wear. This guitar is like it's brand new. So thanks for looking. Okay, hello. Next up is an Epiphone Blue Shock Deluxe. Blue Shock is the name of the model. Blue Shock Deluxe. This is a semi-hollow body guitar with the F-holes here. I'll turn the volume off just so you can hear what it sounds like acoustically. In fairness, these aren't really intended to be played acoustically, although you could, just like you could with any 6-string electric guitar. This does not project the same way an acoustic would, which is why we have the pickups and the electronics attached to it. So here we have traditional volume and then tone control. What's different about this, this guitar is, in addition to the 3-position pickup selector switch, which is this one, or when it's in the middle, both of them together, we have a 6-position toggle switch, and I am not quite certain everything it's doing, but our ears are definitely going to help us out with that. So first thing I'll do is turn this guitar up. I'll put the tone fully engaged. Just give us a little bit more volume over here. There we go. So we are in currently the bridge position. So I'll cycle through the 6 positions of this selector so you can begin to hear how it changes. That sounds out of phase to me. Sound, which is Epiphone is made by Gibson, which is something I associate with the Les Pauls and the guitars they're so famous for. So it's got a nice resonance, rings out really nicely, and even though this guitar as a semi-hollow acoustic isn't first designed with the first thought to be playing loud rock and roll or a distorted sound. Sometimes you might want to do that anyway. That's actually what Wolfgang Van Halen uses, the style of guitar he uses for his music right now, so we'll let you hear it. This 6-position pickup selector, this 6-position switch. That's a bassier sound, like a traditional bridge pickup. So there you have it. That's a little tour of our Epiphone Blue Shark Deluxe. Okay, hello everyone. Next up, we're going to show you some amplifiers. The first one in the lineup is a Marshall combo amp. The model is G30R-CD. So this is a 30-watt combo amp with a single 10-inch speaker inside. It's an open back cabinet, meaning I can touch the speaker if I put my hand through there. This amplifier has 2 channels. What that means is you can have, these are the controls for the first channel, these are the controls for the second. It means you can have 2 preset sounds. So if you're playing a song and you want to go from a cleaner sound to a dirtier sound, that's what this is designed to do. Sometimes when you're playing, you don't want to stop playing and come down here and make the switch. So this amp comes with this. It's a foot switch. The foot switch plugs into the front panel right here. And if I want to go from a distorted sound, which I currently have, to a clean sound, it's as quick as the step of the switch. So this amplifier has a couple other unique features. You absolutely could not listen to it through the speaker, but plug in a pair of headphones. This is a 1/4-inch jack for headphone out. This is a line level signal out, which could be used to run the preamp section into a PA system. And this is labeled CD input. Basically, this is a 1/4-inch jack for you to send sound in that would come through the clean channel so that you could play along with something you had recorded, or so you could play along with a song that you're trying to learn, or something like that. So I'm going to start with this on the clean channel. Your controls are the volume right here, and then bass and treble. I'll play all these amps on this guitar. So this is a good practice amp. It's a good starter amp. It's also good for gigging if you don't want a lot of heavy equipment. I'm actually impressed with the clean tones, which I'll demonstrate here. Sound, but overall it's a really high quality reverb sound, I think. So just something to let your sound a little bit fuller. And so if we wanted a bassier sound, we can certainly turn that up. And if we bring it down, you'll have a thinner sound without the bass. So it gives you a way to dial in the tone that you're looking for. I think it's fairly loud right now. The volume is barely beyond 9, almost 10 o'clock. So we're about right here. This would be the halfway point on a 30-watt amp. I'm playing that on a guitar with the volume not all the way up, just for point of reference. And that was the rhythm pickup. Here's the bridge. Stepping on the pedal, we change to channel 2, which is the channel with overdrive. And so what you have here is bass and treble control here. We can get a little bit more volume in So the contour switch knob is going to be like a sculpting. Then tighten it up so you can go from and I've got it pretty far over for my ears. I would definitely bring that back. Maybe somewhere in the middle is a good place to start. Gain almost all the way up. If you dial that back, it's pretty easy to have a tone with just a little bit of growl. And turn it up a little bit. Marshall G30R CD 30-watt combo with 10-inch speaker. Okay everyone, next up is a Marshall Tube 30-watt amplifier head. This is what many people refer to as a lunchbox size head as opposed to the 45 to 55 pound 100-watt heads that so many of us have played with in the past. This 30-watt head comes with a foot switch, which is right here on the ground in my hand now. It allows you to change from the clean channel. You see the green on the front face to the dirty channel where you would see red. So I'm going to start in a moment with the clean channel just so you have the full model information. It is the DSL-1HR and it looks like we have preamp and power amp tubes in the back that I can clearly see along with the rectifier. The cabinet is a single 12-inch speaker cabinet. It's open in the back, and it is a JTM C12 Marshall 1x12 guitar cabinet. So here I've got the amplifier set in the clean. This is the equalization setting. So you're going to have bass, mid, and treble, and right beside it is reverb. So this amplifier has onboard reverb, and you'll see right here there's something called tone shift. And just to demonstrate that, it's a subtle shift in the equalization. So if we play a chord, it rings a little bit more when the tone shift is popped out. When it's in, it's just a little bit bassier. So the knobs are responsive. I'll keep the reverb all the way off right now. So there's more bass. Very full sound there. Less bass, but still a good sound. So I'll keep the bass at 12 o'clock, mid all the way cut, mid all the way up, and put the mid back in the middle. And then here's no treble, and here's treble all the way up. So I like to scoop the sound, so I'll take out a little mid, have some treble and bass, and let you hear the amp. About 3 o'clock or 75% of the way on, and you get. So I would classify that as a room or hall style reverb. If we turn it all the way up, you get most of it, but it's still fairly subtle. But you've definitely got a reverb there. So. Okay, hello everyone. Next up is a Line 6 Pod HD 300. This is a multi-effects foot pedal that generates the sounds of what are called modeled amplifiers and modeled distortions and modeled effects tones like reverbs and delays. So with this, you get sort of an all-in-one box. And what I have here is where you see the pink, that's my guitar going in, and where you see the black right here, that is another 1/4-inch cable going out and into the input of an amplifier that's behind it. So this is a signal processing device. In and of itself, it doesn't make sound, although I think you could plug headphones in. There's also a Line 6 link that you can get. You can plug a USB in if you're going to plug into a computer for recording. So it's very much a multi-purpose device. We won't be able to show you everything in just a minute or so on a video. I encourage you, if you're interested in this, to just Google it, Line 6 Pod HD 300. It has far more features than we're going to be able to show you today. This is a volume pedal. When it's engaged as a volume pedal, it can also be a wah-wah pedal. There are multiple banks of songs, and you use these buttons here to switch among them. We won't do a lot of that, but what I can tell you is that there are a number of presets that the manufacturer loads, and we are on one right now called Super Deluxe, and that's named after, it would be a modeled attempt to clone a Fender Super Deluxe combo amp, which were quite popular and still are actually. So that sounds like this. Pretty dry. So what I'm going to do is, that's their Fender Deluxe sound, Super Deluxe sound, and I can come down here and begin to modify it. So if I want to add a delay to it, you hear a very subtle delay, and what you can't see is I have a bar graph going across my screen that says stereo delay, and to maximize the delay, that takes it all the way to the top, and so now you really notice that it's very pronounced. Notice here, that's about 5 or 6 repeats. That would be really sloppy if it did that with every note you played. So it has a ducking feature built in. So when I do this, you mainly hear the 4 or 5 repeats for the last note. So when I'm going fast, it's not going to try to do 4 or 5 repeats per note. It's just going to give you a quick one. The delay. If I come over a little bit further, we get a classic tape echo sound. And again, you've got some ducking going on here because if I just play one chord or note, you see it goes on for a long time. And then finally there's a sweep echo, slightly different. It's kind of reverse. So I'll play and you won't hear me until it comes back later. So that's kind of cool. You might recognize that from some songs you know on the radio. Over here are a bunch of settings. So I've got clean, pawn shop, blues, boutique, class A, crunch, high gain, and metal. So if I want to change the tone, for example, let's assume I want to be a little bit louder. I've rolled it all the way over to metal. And I still have control over how much drive it's getting. So there I can turn the drive up. I can make it a little bit brighter with the treble. I can make it bassier. And I can cut the volume if I want. There's a channel volume button there. So that's just an example of a clean sound. I'm going to come back to what they call Class A. By the way, each one of these has a green and a red light. So if I pick Class A, if I move this switch just a little bit, it'll go from green to red. And that gives you a subtle difference in the tone. So here's the red on the Class A. You'll hear a little fuzz. And that's by design. If I want to clean it up, I go to green. So really an infinite, it's true with all guitar amplifiers, but particularly with this, an infinite number of sounds that you'd be able to get from it. Last thing I want to point out before we let you go is that this has a looper built in. So for a given number of seconds, you can play something and then have that played right back to you. I played with it just a moment before we started this recording, so if I were to hit play right here, we'll probably hear what I was doing. So there's a series of chords, and if I wanted to, I could play along with it here. So I'll stop that there. If you're interested in this, I encourage you to look up all of its capabilities. This is just a small, window into the many things it can do. So thanks for watching. Hello again. Next up we have a Fender Bronco 15-watt combo amplifier. This amp has 2 independent channels. They are a clean channel and a dirty channel. They are switchable from the top. There's a little button right here. They each have their own volume. They share the EQ, which is bass, mid, and treble. In addition to having its own volume, the lead channel also has a gain, so you can control how much distortion you got. So right now we are in the clean position, so I will play, for those of you who go back long enough, something from 1991 that you may or may not recognize. Responds to the EQ. So I'll just play a chord lightly. I'll take the bass out. So I have a thinner sound. And then if we take the bass all the way to its top, you get this. And the others are going to work the same way. There's full mid. And mid all the way down. Same with the treble. Really bright, and then a little bit of brightness. So out of that, you can craft your own tone, sort of sculpt it. So what we'll do now is go over to the next dirty channel. So if you listen. So that's a little bit of lead work on it. So for my ears, I would back off the treble a little bit, add some mid and add some bass to that tone, and now you get this. So that's a look at the Fender Bronco. Just so you know, in the back, it is capable of running a 15-watt extension speaker, which would be a small cabinet with a single speaker, and you can also plug headphones into it if you want to listen in private and quietly for those around you.